Ready for the second game this evening here at Swangard Stadium. It's the Whitecaps and the Rovers men's squad after the women's squad pulled out a 2-1 win over the Rovers earlier tonight, as this Whitecaps team prepped to play a Rovers team that's absolutely flying at the moment. Let's go through the Whitecaps team. A 1-0 win for them late on last Wednesday over Unity. So they've had a full week off. They have an unchanged lineup for usual coach Rich Fagan. Ewan Fisher's in charge tonight for this Whitecaps side. They have Ben Alexander in goal. He retains his place. Numerically, they have number 68, Nick White, a former Rover. Get to that later. Number 72, Max Comzia. Number 73, Jay Mineta. Number 77, Jovan Mann. Number 79, Benedict Florence. And number 87, Rowan Capella. Number 88, Joel Demian. Number 89, Michael Hennessy. Number 93, Dylan Velios. And number 96, Luke Norman for the Rovers. They make two changes from that big win on Sunday, 5-1 against Altitude. Justin Sandu retains his place in goal. Ali Zohar, Connor McMillan, Ivan Mejia, Masoud Habibullah, Eric Edwardson, and Kyle Jones, Tyler Dillon, Danilo Smichenko, Nico Papakrikopoulos, and Fugo Sigawa. McMillan and Papakrikopoulos are in for Verhoeven and Barrett. And Michael, you're obviously there on Sunday for a great game for TSS. Obviously, the scoreline indicated that, but maybe beyond that, is there anything the Rovers did that they need to continue to do here to the end of the season to retain this great place and great form they've been on?
The interesting thing about Sunday's game was Altitude actually had taken the lead and had the better of the opening goal, and TSS seemed a little bit off the pace. But then 6 minutes later, they tied it up, and then the confidence flowed. And we've seen this with this team all season long. Once their confidence is there, once they've got the swagger, they're playing some beautiful football.
Whitecaps in the white with the blue shorts, moving left to right. Rovers in the all black. And we are underway on this Wednesday evening from Swangard. Last home game of the season. Sad to be saying that, is there will be the track renovated, as we talked about earlier in the season, and throughout to tonight as well. Starting the end of the month, so the Swangard pitch will be unavailable. So last home game of the season with a month and a half to go until the season's over.
I know, it's crazy that we have had our 7 games by the 9th of the season mark here at Swangard. It's been a weird season as well. It's like feast or famine for TSS.
Rovers off to the attack. Here's Kyle Jones into the attacking box, trying to find McMillan. It's off of a Whitecap held in by Nick White, who will thump it here into the stands in front of us. Look out. The captain of the Whitecaps today, the number 68.
Yeah, as I was saying, it's like kind of feast or famine for the Rovers, because they either don't score or they put up 3, 4, 5 goals. There's like no in between. They were rampant in that second half against Altitude. And this is a very interesting encounter, because you've got two teams that don't give up much at the back either. Rovers only given away 4 goals in their 8 matches so far. Whitecaps just 7 goals in their matches so far as well. 4 clean sheets for TSS, 3 clean sheets for the Whitecaps. I'm not sure what to have in store for this. It's shaping up to be a low-scoring encounter. Thought that last season, and the game exploded.
Yes. 8 goals.
That was
the second fixture.
What a game that was. 4-4 draw. It was just absolutely incredible. He rained off. We'll see how that goes. But if you want to get in touch during the broadcast, you can do so on Twitter at AFTN Canada, or leave us a message in the YouTube chat if you want to talk about the season so far in League 1. Either of these teams, any of the players, why no CPL team has signed Ivan Mejia yet, anything like that, get in touch with us. We would love to talk about it.
Michael's amped up for this one here, 3 minutes in.
I've got my chai tea.
Well, that's what gave me the extra boost. Wow. Might have to borrow some of that at halftime. Mejia attacking on the near side for TSS. What a run of form he's in right now. Finds McMillan in the box. McMillan! Uncharacteristic wide from McMillan. Still goalless on the year is the man they call C-Mac.
Yeah, that's one of the big surprises of the season for me as well.
We've talked about it. It's not like he's playing bad, though. It just hasn't been able to put the ball in the net.
Yeah. Only 6 scorers for TSS over the year. Leading the way, Eric Edwardson with 7, Ivan Mejia with 5, and Masoud Habibullah with 3. Ivan Mejia, what a season he is having. 5 goals, 6 assists now. 3 of the 5 goals on Sunday came as assists for Ivan.
Ivan the Magnificent.
Oh, I mean, I was saying in the broadcast on Sunday, if you're a CPL coach watching this, a USL coach watching this, come and get this man. He deserves to be playing at the next level.
McMillan looking through, trying to find Masood Habibullah. Well defended by Luke Norman. Whitecaps off to the races here, rolled to the outside. Sagawa closely watching Benedict Florent on that left side. Now here's Florent in the midfield, trying to find Max Komzia, well read by Smichenko. Now Mejia. Trying to play it ahead for Habibullah Rovers, trying to use the wings early here against this Whitecaps side. Game plan set out by Darren Rusher, along with Tom Johnson and Brendan Teeling. Thrown in by Papakriakopoulos, knotted down. Jovan Mann trying to get to that ball. Now will find Zohar. Trying to steer it out wide for Mejia, that ball lacking. Zohar, one of 3 Rovers to start every game this year alongside Edwardson and Tyler Dillon. Jones 1 match shy of that mark as well.
Dillon started the game against Altitude at the weekend as right back. Fugo Sagawa was playing left back in that one. Then when Tyler came off, Fugo moved over to the right and they brought Nico back on. Nico and C-Mac, the 2 changes for TSS tonight from that big win on the North Shore on Father's Day. Looking to be the daddies of League 1 BC once again this year.
Here's Sagawa. If it wasn't Father's Day, definitely would have made it out for that one, but...
Always excuses with you. I mean, take your dad, treat him to a feast of football.
I took him to a feast of football yesterday.
There was 10 goals at the game.
I know. I took him to the Vancouver FC game. It was just as good, I think, for that setting. Kyle Jones, great ball for Edwardson! Oh. And it's off the bar! Edwardson can't believe it. What a ball from Kyle Jones with that sweet left foot. Just about making magic for TSS. 6 minutes gone. What a look for the hosts.
I was about to say to you about Kyle Jones. I was speaking to his brother Adam just between the games there, and we're just chatting about Kyle's season. I said I thought he had his best game of the season, possibly his best ever game as a Rover against Altitude on Sunday. He was so involved and so advanced, almost scored a header. That's how good Kyle Jones was on Sunday. But what a beautiful ball that was. And you would bet your house on Eric Edwardson putting that one in the back of the net.
Sagawa tripped up a Whitecap there in the midfield. Just a warning from referee Josh Hooving today with assistant referee Olin Metz and Ere DeMiros, your 4th official Francesco Scaglione. Velios back in the top of the Rovers half. Nick White, a former Rover, on the ball now. Back for Ben Alexander. 2-time League 1 BC player.
Whitecaps still very interested in Alexander. There's been so many good goalkeepers come through the Whitecaps over the years. I rate Alexander above Bomer, above Max Anker.
And Hassel, I'm assuming, as well?
Yes. I thought that went without saying.
Velios down the line, watched by Papakriakopoulos here. Velios does really well, the experienced defender. Fouls Papakriakopoulos in front of the Swan Guardians. That draws a bit of a reaction. And a free kick in a very deep position here for blue-clad Justin Sandu tonight.
Something the Whitecaps did well, I felt, last year was incorporate some of their older alumni just as a little bit of a calm and experienced head with a very young Whitecaps side. Rich Fagan had done well with that. You should also note as well, Rich Fagan not on the sideline in charge of the Whitecaps tonight. He is away down at the MLS Next playoffs and showcase that is on at the moment. His assistant Eric Fisher prowling on the sidelines. He's been walking back and forward like a tiger in a cage.
Yeah, very tall figure, Ewan Fisher. Nick White will stand over this free kick here for TSS. They had also an academy graduate last year, Gurman Sanga, come through the ranks, and now he's in the MLS Next Pro with Charlotte's second team. Ball whipped back across, looking dangerously there for Comzie again, who's been at the fore of a couple of good chances for the Whitecaps so far. Not much to separate these two teams, though. 10 minutes gone on this Wednesday evening as the Rovers close the curtain on a interesting home schedule. Winless in their first two, goalless in their first two, just the 1 point that was the draw against Natsama. The Nap been an absolute tear in the last 4 home games coming into today, scoring a plethora of goals.
Winless in their last 5 wins out of their last 6 now, and top place in the League1 BC standings is certainly in their hands just now. Speaking to Colin Elms on Sunday at Altitude about things, and they know it's tough because they've got to close the season out with away games, but they feel at this level it doesn't really matter as much home and away. The only thing that could play into it is perhaps the travel.
Well, one ball by Jones. What a tackle, though, defensively by Benedict Florent as him and Jones battle it out. Now Velios to the feet of very good striker this year, Michael Hennessy. Fairly won by Zohar, says referee Hooving.
Robust start to the game, I think you can say.
Much like Sunday, a physical one by the looks of it so far. Always is when it's a game involving Kyle Jones. Papakrikopoulos ahead for Mejia. McMillan spins off the body of Florent. He might have a go. McMillan half volley, and that one got away from there. That's just kind of the form that it's been lately for McMillan. Asking for a foul, but just clearly mishit it there to McMillan.
Couple of early looks on goal, though, there for C-Mac. As you mentioned, no goals on the season for him. No assists either, which is a bigger surprise for me. And we're not saying that he's had a bad season.
No.
We should stress either. He's been very involved. It's just because we only, with our notes as we explained in the women's game, unofficial assists, but we're only giving first assists. We're not giving second assists. I say we. I'm just sitting watching hours of video.
I'm not involved in this at all.
trying to work out what indistinct figure has passed the ball to somebody else.
McMillan, I'd have to say, one of the better players in that Canadian Championship run against Pacific and Ballard. Obviously, having Matteo Polisi in the bench today will strengthen the squad in the second half if goals don't come in this opening frame.
Yeah, Matteo is still struggling with the groin injury. A lot of people probably don't know this because we did kind of keep it quiet at the time. He played that game against Valor with a groin strain. 2 goals, could have had a hat-trick. Imagine how good he can be when he's fully fit, which we haven't seen at all this season with Matteo.
Edwardson, Habibullah, Mejia in space to his left as Habibullah tries to run into space, finds Mejia in a good position here for TSS. Mejia, a little step over, beautifully done, and a good read by Florent. Goal kick there for Alexander, and Florent recovered well for not initially being in a good position there for the Whitecaps, but a goal kick for big Ben Alexander on 13 minutes.
Sometimes those dancing feet by the Whitecaps. I mentioned it's 5 wins from the last 6. The blot on their paper is that game against the Whitecaps.
Edwardson! Oh, good save from Alexander. And that was after a nice little flick from McMillan to Edwardson. What a beautiful play there.
2 chances now for Double E. Denied on both occasions. That time by Alexander.
One crossbar. And then that chance there is Mejia's delivery towards the utmost part of the top 18-yard box. And Alexander will collect the loose change here as Habibullah in tow. Alexander rolls it here to Rohan Kapila. Plays at Green Bay University. Is the number 87 of the Whitecaps. Smichenko avoids his check. They're closest to him. That was Comzie. It's back for Sandu. Smichenko for Papakrikopoulos here. Now Kyle Jones.
Rovers already doing better than they did in that game in May. It was a 14th minute goal, the only goal of the game from Michael Hennessy in that one. We've moved into the 15th minute now, so it has been all TSS really so far. Michael Hennessy, the goal scorer in that previous meeting, he's one of the Whitecaps players I've been most looking forward to seeing in the flesh. It's our first chance to have a look at the Whitecaps in person this season. Hennessy has been on quite the tear.
Very pacey by the looks of it already, Michael Hennessy. Him and Chris Albom, the two guys I really like out of this Whitecaps team. Obviously a lot of depth, but Albom not on the squad today, but a very dangerous team when called upon.
I was just checking my notes as well. I was trying to see how tall Max Comcia was, the number 72. I don't have his height down because he's a big lad out there.
Yes.
Watched his brother over the years coming through the Whitecaps Academy, and what a great career he had. Looks like he's hung the boots up a little bit early, which is always sad to see.
Papadakopoulos can shape one up from here. He will. Towards the feet of Habibullah, away well by Nick White. And Florent's ball, a rare mistake from him, but Hennessy on it. Past two Rovers and a foul there on Zohar, just inside the Whitecaps half.
Noticed SFU head coach Clint Schneider coming in at the start of the game. Michael Hennessy has committed to SFU for this coming college season. Looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring to the Red Leafs up the mountain.
That is going to be a very good team this year, to say the least.
Might even see him as a Rover next year, since we do get a lot of the SFU guys. NCAA rules mean that you can only have 5 players from one actual college on the same team.
Alexander distributes to Velios, chests it down for Florent, who's been a busy man, and now finds Hennessy with a toddy ball. Hennessy for the quick Velios on the outside. Velios back across goal. Dillon dealt with it. And now Papadakopoulos for Smichenko. And now Kyle Jones, who's playing pretty far out wide left to start this game, you have to say. Normally a defensive midfielder by trade, but pulled out wide numerous times in this match so far. Velios makes a run down the wing. Plays it back in for Hennessy. Don't want him in the ball in that area. Michael Hennessy will have a go. Saved by Sandu. What a stop by the Rovers keeper here, the 17th. Beautifully done off a Hennessy shot.
Thought Hennessy had given the Whitecaps the lead there. Great play by Velios. In the build-up to that as well, there had been some great passing, and then the TSS had broken it up, and then Whitecaps won it back, kept the pressure on. That flashing shot from Hennessy, but what a stop that was from Justin Sandu. That looked like it was going to be bulging the net, but instead it's out for a Whitecaps corner. Great start to this one already, really enjoying it.
Shades of last year's 4-4 draw here at Swangard, that's for sure. Goals, I'm sure, will be in the offing soon, as that ball whipped in very well. Off the head of Smichenko. McMillan trying to save a throw, and he will, with Edwardson up ahead of him, and now Edwardson collects the ball here. Main leading goal scorer this year for TSS, as he'll try and channel it to the middle.
Even the League1 BC goal of the season from Kyle Jones on Sunday. If you haven't checked that out, check out either the full game on the League1 BC website or the highlights on Altitude's YouTube channel. Wow, what a strike that was from KJ. And I think we'll be hard pushed to see better than that this year.
I kind of want to throw Edwardson's ring into the hat from the Altitude game after that free kick, the volley from 18. As nice as that was, I love a good volley, but yet to see Jones's take, so I'm sure I'll have an opinion on that. But Edwardson's beautiful goal in that feature match against Altitude last Sunday. Papadakopoulos finds Mejia. Now McMillan. Habibullah for Edwardson. Rovers trying to play their style here as Mejia with some trickery in the midfield. Now Florent steps in. Hard to see where Florent is kind of set up here. Looks like a defensive mid-roll, but he's kind of switching to right back once in a while.
Almost feels like he's been given a free roll out there. I've liked what I've seen from him so far, though. He's one of the Whitecaps guys not too familiar with. Just an 18-year-old. Has been with the Whitecaps Academy since August 2020.
Nick White now ahead for Luke Norman. Not often you see teams in this league able to roster the same 11 back-to-back weeks, but embarrassment of riches for Rich Fagan's team and Ewan Fisher tonight to be able to pick from, but he chooses the same 11 that had that late win against Unity and keep the goal scorer as well. Sidney Wathuta on the bench. It was an 88th minute winner from him. Zeppel in from Jones for Edwardson. Back up in the air and collected by Velios and played away.
What a winner that was from Wathuta's header there. Nick White floating the free kick in the box. Wathuta just rose and brilliantly headed it home. And what a huge 3 points that could be in terms of playoff pictures for the Whitecaps. Also did TSS a favour as well by taking 3 points away from Unity as they battle for first.
Been quite the story for Mike Sheeran's team. Still have a matchup with the Rovers this Saturday at Chase Office Field in Langley.
I hope to head out for that one. That should be a cracking game. Only been up there once before. Enjoyed that last year. Nice little trip out.
McMillan, beautiful move, finds Habibullah into the 18. Masoud Habibullah blocked there. McMillan wanted it back, though. And now Florent will try and set his team off in the counterattack. Pulled back by Papakrikopoulos. Might get a yellow here. We have seen the cards handed out like candy from referee Josh Shuving this year. This time it stays in his pocket. Here in the 22nd, no score still.
Habibullah's first real look on goal through the first 21 minutes of this one. He's been busy up front, but he's just not really had the ball get through to him. This game's very much on a knife edge just now.
Jade Mineta finds Luke Norman, watched by Jones. Now Rohan Kapila. Mineta now to the outside. So hard, tenacious defending there, but Florent will go quickly back to the left side for Mineta. Out the left channel, Whitecaps trying to play a quick one in there. It might fall for Hennessy. Still there for Norman. He has Velios to his right. Velios will try and clip one back in, though. The Ohio State Buckeye. Way by Papakrikopoulos, right to Velios. Calling for it is Comzia. It goes towards Comzia and Hennessy. Drops down again for Velios for Florent. Jones stepped in well, back for Papakrikopoulos in a tough position, plays it up the line here, and slid out a play by Nick White. Brother Anthony White, great shift last night for Vancouver FC in that win over Forge, the reigning champs of CPL. Those two with the Rovers last year were a great pairing as well last year for Will Cromack's TSS squad that won the league last year.
Had a nice little chat with Anthony after the game last night. Asked him if he was heading along tonight. He said, I certainly am. My brother's playing for the Whitecaps now. I was like, I know, you both left us.
This one played in towards Habibullah, might fall for Mejia. Mejia trying to whip it back across goal in that bread and butter curling shot that we've seen a couple of times this year, including in the Valor game. Segawa will track that one down. Edwardson trying to go back to Segawa. Played away towards half by Mineta.
Going back,
beautiful
captain
stuff
tonight
from the Rovers as Papakrikopoulos cuts it across. And not just any college, Harvard University for Nick White, so that's quite the place to go. Ivy League.
I mean, storied college. He's also had a storied football career as well. Spent 18 months over in Germany with Nuremberg. Started off at the under-17s, but then quickly moved up to the U19s and then their actual second team. So the skill's there.
Ball from Mejia looking for Papakrikopoulos to his left, and it'll be a goal kick for Ben Alexander, who's been a busy man distributing the ball so far. Rovers hit a bar in the first 5 minutes of the match, but it's been pretty even split so far. Velios off the foot of Mejia. Seems like every time he plays, he's got shorter and shorter socks with shin guards on. Has them quite low today.
Always feel I don't like that. It's like, I know it was a trend for a while. I've never liked it because it's just leaving yourself open to a really bad injury.
Must be the world's smallest shin guards as well behind those socks. Here's Mineta. Luke Norman. Watched by Jones. Velios off the chest of Papakrikopoulos. And there's Jones, but Hennessy trying to move into the 18 of the Rovers. Now played out by Smichenko. Throw in here for Velios. To the left of Sandu's goal here. You feel like if it's going to be a goal for the Whitecaps, it's going to come from this right side, specifically Velios, who's been very dangerous.
Excellent. He's really been involved in the early going here.
Except for that pass.
Giveaway there.
Commentators curse
him there.
It's been a quiet left side for the Whitecaps so far. I don't know if that's a game plan or not, but Sagawa is a tough person to beat on that right wing with his pace. Here's Hennessy. Hennessy now trying to shape one up from distance. He will! Hennessy skies it all the way to the scoreboard there. That strike from the Whitecaps leading goal-getter this year. Good idea, but execution didn't follow. Here's Smichenko again off the goal kick from Sandu. Try and push the envelope here for his team, who maybe uncharacteristically haven't opened the scoring yet, but have to credit the Whitecaps very compact defensively. Credit to Nick White and what looks like a 3 at the back so far for the visitors.
Yeah, the Whitecaps lining up 3-4-3 this evening for this one to start with. TSS in a 4-3-3 formation. I always feel TSS are such a hard team to kind of scout and play against if you're an opposition coach, because you know the threat that they've got up front, but it's a back line that is so interchangeable. We've seen Dillon, we've seen Papakyriakopoulos, we've seen Sagawa taking up those full-back roles. They can play on both sides. We've seen guys moving into the middle as well. Gideon's just distracted because a bunch of donuts have turned up.
Just kind of magically turned up here in the box. I don't know where they came from, but I think it was Ernie. Thanks, Ernie, if that's the case.
It was the Donut Fairy. Also known as Ernie. That's his new nickname.
Yep, the Donut Fairy. Leave a couple of toonies under the oven tonight instead of the pillow.
They're terrible. Don't worry, they're terrible.
That one bicycle kicked on goal by Hennessy and behind Sandu.
Two donuts on the scoreboard just now as well. Still goalless in the 28th minute here.
The sprinkle of magic from Ivan Mejia so far. Do the Whitecaps have it in them to get this opening goal here?
It'd be crueler for one of the teams to fall behind just now. I think we've done the donut jokes.
Yeah. Zohar for Sagawa. For Smichenko. Jones almost as a left back here in support. Ahead for Habibullah on the half turn. And I feel like this game kind of suits his style of play. We've talked about it a lot this year, what kind of game style suits Habibullah, but it's kind of tough to tell at this point of the game here. Game. And in the 29th, he denies a deflected Kyle Jones strike to keep this game scoreless still. But again, goalkeepers, some great saves so far. And a corner coming up for the Rovers. I believe it's their first here so far in the 30th.
Another great stop there by the Gamecock. Get a weird look from Gideon that he plays for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
I've never heard of that before.
Oh.
I know the Tar Heels as that one's whipped in. Mejia will have a half volley. Struck it well and blocked. Throw-in coming up here from McMillan.
In TSS, I've certainly edged this one so far, but they'll be a bit disappointed they haven't managed to get the breakthrough. It's not for the lack of trying. Alexander in fantastic form in the early going. They need to try and get Mejia more involved.
What a play there. Clever from Mejia.
Wins the corner kick there.
Here's Sagawa's Rovers elect to go short instead of the great distribution from Mejia. McMillan will play it long over the top for Edwardson, knocks it down. McMillan trying to win that second ball, but cleared away by Florent.
Really liked Florent. I know we were just talking about him a few minutes ago, but again, just showing his skill there to be putting in the defensive shift as well to win that challenge. He had to get to that ball before CMAC did.
Playing a Matthias Laba type role right now for the U19s is Benedict Florent. And this is the type of game where you want these players to be able to go to the next level. As Edwardson fouled there, that's a yellow card for Mineta. Make that Jovan Mann in a very good position for Edwardson. This is his territory for sure. As Jovan Mann gets the yellow in the 32nd.
Little harsh yellow for that, but this is now in Kyle Jones' territory for sure. We've seen Ali Zohar, who's also standing over this, taking a couple of good free kicks over his time. But Kyle Jones, again, going back to that wonder goal that he got on Sunday. He is full of confidence just now.
Jones and Zohar stepping over to him. Kind of surprised to not see Edwardson there, but feel like the ball on the left side might favor him more with the angle. Alexander trying to set up a wall here. Looks like 4 in it for the keepers. Kyle Jones will step up on the left foot. Jones struck it well right at the wall. He'll try again for a clip ball in. It's blocked. Hennessy can't clear. Now Whitecaps by committee will.
Picking up Kyle Jones there, and it was one of the worst free kicks we've seen. A quick chance here for the Whitecaps, and
Comcia was in space there.
Norman just needed a better ball there, and Comcia was all through. And I think Sagawa getting a yellow for kicking the ball away there. See, that's why I didn't like that booking for Mann, because it's like you brought the card out early now, and it's not been a game that has merited booking so far, but now you are kind of setting that precedent now for the rest of it.
Josh Shuving like a policeman taking speeding tickets. He's got a quota to fill with cards today, clearly. Sagawa trying to track down a Whitecap there. Good footwork from Joel Demian, Langley native. Watched by McMillan as Sagawa had his man there for a ride. That was Demian on top of Sagawa in the back, who ushered it out well for a Sandu goal kick. Papadakopoulos back for Smichenko. Foul there on Hennessy.
I mean, it's been a really good free-flowing game for the first half hour, and then the last 3 minutes it's just been so stop-start, and we saw a big dip at times in the women's game previously. Hopefully we can keep the action going in this one. These are two teams that play football the right way, and they love to attack, and there's some really good exciting attacking pieces out there. It's probably jinxed this to be a 0-0.
Well, that was the home opener, so it'd only be fitting if it starts and ends the season with a scoreless
I remember
game.
saying during that opener, there's no way this is going to finish goalless, and of course it did. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, so flicked on there by Habibullah. He's just not had a chance to get involved from altitude. Nice push off there, but won back by Mejia.
Mejia with a bit of a dangerous ball. Hennessy was lurking. And now here's Sagawa. Edwardson for Zohar. Smichenko for Papadakopoulos. Habibullah calling for it. Nico carries his run. Habibullah just been pretty much man-marked this whole game by Nick White. Not much room to roam as Comcia will try and attack. I think that Luke Norman is stepping in well was Dylan. Look at Benedict Florent playing as the number 10 right now. Smichenko goes back for Sandu.
He has played about 5 different positions on the field so far in this half.
Here's Sagawa for Zohar. Back for Dylan now. Papakrikopoulos in this left channel, trying to move it forward. Jones. McMillan. Out of the right side for Edwardson. Now for Sagawa. Played back across, grabbed by Alexander here in the 36th.
Just had too much on that return ball there from Edwardson. Sagawa couldn't really do too much with that. I think the Whitecaps have done a very good job negating this dangerous front three for TSS.
Habibullah now, nice touch for Mejia. With pace, Mejia trying to make his way into the 18 of the Whitecaps, finds Habibullah. He can shoot from there, but not much of an angle. Well defended by Norman. Here's Kyle Jones. Beautiful ball in for Edwardson. Oh, thought he might have just checked his run there. That was perfect territory. And Edwardson's going to have to come out of the game here. Just signaled for a substitution to Darren Rusher. Just as probably why he didn't climb up for that ball there, but worrying signs here for TSS.
That would be a big blow if this proves to be more than just a little knock for Double E.
He did make the substitution sign to the bench.
He knows right away. 7 goals, 4 assists on the season for Eric Edwardson so far. I was thinking earlier when he had played that ball to Sagawa, he's just not really got involved much today. I do wonder then, had he picked a knock up earlier and he just hasn't been himself, but this would be a huge blow to the Rovers. He's been such an influential player for them over the years. Last year's League 1 BC Golden Boot winner. 10 goals he got last season. He already has 7 this year. That's something we talked about in the first game, the women's game, Gideon. The goals are flowing in both the men and the women's side this season in League 1. A lot more goals scored than we've had in previous years. Last year, the only previous year.
Gabe Escobar looks like he'll be the man to come on here, worrying for Edwardson with the game on Saturday against Unity looming. And a few more games to play for TSS, 5 after today.
I mean, you wonder, he's maybe just tweaked something, maybe a hamstring, although he doesn't really seem to be walking too gingerly as he comes off here.
Usually if you can't jump for ball, it's when you pulled your hamstring because you don't have that ability to climb up and head the ball. Yeah, holding his left.
Just touched it there on the left hamstring.
He's a hard worker, Edwardson. Great behind-the-scenes player as well as he does some YouTube videos. Make sure to check those out on his channel. Behind the scenes from the Valor and Pacific Games and just documenting his journey as a footballer in this country.
Another one of those players that it just baffles me how a CPL side have not come and had a look at Eric Edwardson. I know there's some that have had a little bit of interest and then haven't followed up on that, and it's always thrown out, oh, it's his age, he's 28, well 26 now. That's not old for a footballer. And you look at a team like Vancouver FC that's got such a young team out there. Yesterday, 21.9 was their average starting 11. They need some older experienced heads in there, and if you can get a guy like Eric who's older, experienced, has played pro over in Europe, he's a marketable guy, he's a good looking guy that you can have going out there. He's got a social media
there from Edwardson.
Yeah, great to see Patty winning that U Sports National Championship with the Wolfpack last year.
Well, very well deserved for Isaac.
Known Isaac for a long time now, from his time with the Whitecaps, playing at UBC as well.
Full circle, really, to be playing with the Whitecaps U19s this year. He clips
like
it in.
Come home, really, is what it's been. He's another good older head, though, that Rich Fagan has added to his squad for this season.
McMillan for Papakrikopoulos in for Jones. I think it struck Mejia. Habibullah was in there, and a big goal kick as Escobar waits to come in. 10 players right now on the pitch for TSS.
Gabe Escobar, the swashbuckling pirate, coming into this, still trying to get up to full match fitness himself after that early season injury that he had.
I feel like he just needs a goal to pick up his morale a little bit as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a decent enough season, but we know there's a lot more in Gabe than has possibly been shown so far.
Well,
McMillan just bundled off the ball there.
Him and Florenko tangled up, but he's a professional player for sure. Escobar is indicated by his signing last year with Halifax.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before on the TSS broadcast, but I know we've got a number of different people listening tonight that maybe haven't listened to us in the past. But when Gabo went to Halifax, it seemed the ideal team for him, the ideal fit. He did get some time on the pitch, and things looked to be going well for him there. But then the new head coach comes in, he's got his own ideas, the own players that he wants to come in, and unfortunately for Escobar, he was one of the guys that had to make way. And he's another guy that came through the Whitecaps system, was actually involved with the first team when they went to Hawaii, and was one of the players that made that trip with the Whitecaps. Has been capped by Canada U15, U17 and U18 level before making a switch to El Salvador. He's played for them at under 20 level, so the talent is there. He was nominated for the Under 17 Player of the Year in 2016. Who beat him that year?
Alphonso Davies?
Yes. So, in great company.
Rightfully so, to be fair.
Yes. I think you can maybe say their careers have gone in slightly different.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. But this is why TSS exists. They are here to showcase local BC talent, to have them move on to the next levels. Will Cromack always said in his interviews, we don't want to see these guys back here next year. And I spoke to Darren Rusher. Haven't aired this interview yet. It's going to be on the next AFTN soccer show. And he was saying, we're expecting to lose guys. And some of the guys that you're seeing on the pitch and the squad just now might not be here when it comes to playoff time. And that's what the club want, even though it's detrimental to them.
Svachenko with the free kick there, as Comcia will begrudgingly elect to retreat a little bit. And now Sagawa for Mejia. Tidy move there from Kyle Jones. Out wide for McMillan, who's gone from a attacking mid-roll to right mid-roll here for TSS. So he'll find Mejia. Habibullah on the half turn. Habibullah from distance and trying to stamp his name on this game here. Skies it all the way to the backdrop behind the goal of Alexander. Goal kick here for the Whitecaps keeper in purple today. Svachenko will not elect to let it roll back to Sandu. Here's Jones, and Velio steps in well. He's got Comcia to his right, finds him. Hennessy in the box. Comcia across, and a roll all the way out to the far side there, and the pacey Joel Demian will race to it. There will be a throw-in for Zohar.
Just to get up with some of the social media comments we've had. Spiceboy1 is watching this one from Ottawa. It's a late night for him. He was staying up for the Whitecaps game. Hope he's enjoying watching his fellow Ottawan. I guess that's what you would probably call it. Florent played his youth football with St Anthony Futuro Soccer Academy out in Ottawa. Donovan Lloyd says he's just here until the Whitecaps game starts. Something to eat, and they are back because it's another full one here. I'd definitely say we're into four figures. Great to see here at Swangard for the last home game of the season.
So Nick White and Masoud Habibullah get tangled up.
It's not White.
Sorry, it's Mineta, I think, on the ground.
Yeah.
Maybe Rohan Capella in the battle with Habibullah there, and bit of a don't want to be in a battle with Habibullah, that's for sure.
TSS bench getting into it a little bit with the fourth official.
We saw them getting into it with an altitude coach in the game last Sunday as well.
Yes.
So not a common occurrence, so to speak.
It is an altitude match.
True. Long ball forward from Mann, who found himself in the book rather in this first half. Didn't catch how much added time there was here. I don't think, if any.
Yeah, it's always the problem with this tent that's right in front of us, and the fourth official, we don't often see what the board says. Possibly 2 minutes time getting added on, we're hearing.
Kyle Jones down the left side for Escobar. Escobar more of a dead ball, and White mishit it. Back for Capilla. Plays it long towards half for Comcia. Back up in the air. Now Segala. Running out to the right side here is Fugo Segala. Top of the far 18. Just rolls off of a Whitecap for a deep throw here for TSS.
After a fast-paced and exciting first half hour, in fact, that goes to final whistle, or half-time whistle.
Halftime, no score between the Whitecaps and the Rovers. More on the other side of the break here on YouTube as 0-0 so far. And what a first half it was, end-to-end, but no goals yet.
Yeah, first half hour, lots of excitement, dipped a little bit. I think there's a lot to come. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
Welcome back to the second half here at Swangard. The Whitecaps and Rovers scoreless here. Some good looks for either team, including a crossbar for TSS and Eric Edwards. Unfortunate to come out of the game due to an injury, but Gabe Escobar is in for him. And Whitecaps going forward in some good areas as well. Micah Hennessy has been in some good positions. The short but very pacey striker leads the Caps this year with 4 goals. He scored the winner against the Rovers a couple of weeks ago in their matchup on the Point Grey campus, UBC. As the lights come on and it starts to get a little bit darker here, the longest day of the year, by the way, today.
It feels like it after the last 50 minutes of that half, I have to say. Hopefully we get a little bit more action in this second one.
Game calling for a goal here. There's options on either bench. You have Kean Proctor, who scored 2 goals on Sunday for TSS. John Joseph back in the squad. Mateo Polisi, Nick
delighted
Barrett.
to see John Joseph back after the injuries that he's had. I was so looking forward to seeing if he was going to have a breakout season for TSS. Kean Proctor, the impact he had when he came on Sunday against Altitude, 2 goals in the last 7 minutes, and I've been singing his praises.
Here's a chance for Escobar to the box. Game Escobar! Blocked, and here's Papa Kriakopoulos now.
Lovely
Wow,
little back
beautiful.
heel by Masoud Habibullah there to set up Escobar. He just couldn't get it out of his feet to get that clean shot, but good defensive play by the Whitecaps.
Mejia switched to the right wing now to maybe allow Escobar to get more involved. Norman in the midfield.
I think Ivan has it in his contract that he has to be closest to the camera at all times, which is why we see him on the side.
Here.
It's a good start with TSS as well. They did start the first half.
Here.
It's a good start with TSS as well. They did start the first half, though, on the front foot and then kind of petered out a little bit. You have to feel Darren Rush told them they need to pick up the tempo. We've seen that a few times of late, that they have very much been a second-half team.
Free kick from Zohar, lifted towards the back post, and Ben Alexander will reach it.
And if you look at their last 3 games, and it all wins, 2 of the goals in their 3-1 victory. Another card coming out there. But 2 goals in their 3-1 win over Rivers came in the second half. 3 of their 4 goals against Altitude at home came in the second half. And then 4 of their 5 against Altitude at the weekend there came in the second half.
Yellow card caution for TSS Rovers, number 17, Danilo Smishenko.
Now we have 2 yellow cards in 2 minutes.
4 bookings altogether in what has not been a dirty game at all.
Here's Alexander. Towards half, knotted down by Dylan. And there's McMillan for Kyle Jones. Jones swings it out wide for Mejia. He's attacking here.
What a
He's
ball again.
good position. Mejia deflected back across goal. It's not fully clear now. It is to the left of Escobar, and a corner coming up here for TSS. Lovely
Really thought
delivery.
that deflection was actually going to help them there. I thought it was just going to carry straight into the path. But again, that ball from Kyle Jones as the corner taken quickly, bounces through everyone.
Zohar trying to play it back in. Likes to go out wide for Dylan. Finds Mejia. One-on-one here, Mejia to the outside. Trying to move past this man there. That was Mineta, who's defended well. A goal kick for Alexander here in the 50th. You think the Whitecaps won't mind a point here on the road, but obviously they're keeping the standings very much in the back of their mind. We run into the second half of this season.
Rovers know 3 points tonight sees them hit the summit for the first time this year.
Here's Joel Demian. Watched by Segawa heavily. Ball drops down in space for Mann. Good ball through. A chance for Norman. Saved by Sandu. I thought there might be a shout for a penalty there as Norman poked it through, but well saved by Justin Sandu, the Rovers keeper. Here in the 51st.
Great chance for the Whitecaps there. Norman just had to take that as a first time. Couldn't get a lot of power on it. But that will certainly give the Whitecaps some hope, the way they carved open the TSS defence there. And we spoke about it in the first half. It's a very stingy defence. In fact, 2 very stingy defences. But TSS have only given up 4 goals so far over their first 8 matches. 7 given up by the Whitecaps.
Bowlers out of play there, throwing for Papakriakopoulos here. Away by Smichenko as Mateo Polisi up off the bench to get warmed up here. Think he might feature in the next 5-6 minutes for TSS. Wonder what is going through the mind of Eric Edwardson as well right now on the bench for TSS. I'm sure he'd love to be out there, but obviously fate doesn't always play in your hands.
We'll try and get an update on that after the match.
Thrown to the 6 away by Smichenko. Jones steps in well, finds Habibullah. Trying to advance it from McMillan, and
just a bit too much on that. I was asking a lot for CMAC.
Tack looks disjointed. The turnover here is Ivan Mejia from distance. Grabbed by Alexander. Took the sting out of it as he tried to kind of curl it to the top corner, but as he curled the ball, the pace slowly went away from it.
Just didn't get the power there. I thought that was going to be the opener.
Jones tries to chip one.
Mistake as well by Alexander.
Jones thought he'd try house money on that one. Alexander was well positioned.
This is more like it though. We're just talking amongst ourselves at half-time. We were hoping it was going to be a much more faster-paced second half. As Whitecaps calling over a substitution now.
Looks like it will be Patrick Isaac, the man to get.
Former alumni graduate. Oh, great stuff by Florent there. And now see, to me, that's been more like a yellow card than some of the other ones.
Because it stopped an attack.
Yeah, but Jones getting away with that. Not that we're calling for a booking, but where's the consistency?
I thought Jones might get a red in the altitude game last week here at Swangard. He was all over the pitch. I picked him for Gatorade Performer of the Match, rightly so, with the goal, but he did a lot more than score in that game. Yeah,
he's really coming into his own this season, I feel. I mean, we saw him play years ago against TSS for the Foothills and always hoped he was going to be a Rover one day, and now he is.
Luke Norman tidily back to the midfields. Escobar closing down Manetta. Now Florent might have a shot from distance, he will, but lacks the quality to find the net there, Florent. Good idea, though, to try and get his team into the front foot here.
Certainly been a guy that stood out for me in the first half, and looking forward to seeing a lot more from him in this second.
Certainly a 3-man set through the midfield, but he's given almost a free roam as Benedict Florent, the way he's played in the first half for that matter, but the second half a little bit more reserved, you have to think, with the way the Rovers are trying to attack here, especially with the oncoming police here in the next minute or so.
I was wondering whether Fisher was maybe going to make a formational change at halftime, but they've kept the 3-4-3, which against this attack from TSS is a dangerous thing to be going with.
Nice move here from Mejia into the 18, blocked back for McMillan, half volley strike, blocked down, Escobar
Flag
stops.
is up though.
Half chance for TSS, the fans want a goal, they want a goal for sure here. That would certainly turn the game on its head. As I thought Isaac was going to come on, he's gone back over to warm up with the subs. Maybe it was just a little brief chat with Fisher to give a timeline.
I think they were maybe concerned that one of the players had a knock, but maybe looks like he's okay.
Good step in there by Jones.
This is certainly the kind of game now that we were hoping for between these two sides.
Habibullah and White mixing it up, and now Habibullah on the ball for Escobar. Perfect driven pass there for Zohar. Now Jones, who's dropped back, trying to mix it up offensively. Escobar lifts it in for Habibullah up in the air. Habibullah, a header, and easy pickings for Alexander, but better again for TSS.
Do wonder if we might, I do wonder if we might see Habibullah making way here, but it's not. It's a surprising substitution. It's Fugo Sagawa that is going to be making way by the looks of the board of the fourth official just now for Matteo Polisi.
I wonder if Jones is going to drop back into outside back role.
I'm very curious as to maybe even go for a back three to match up the 3-4-3.
I guess Gabe Escobar could go back.
Of course,
there. I forgot about him.
Yeah, Gabo
Utility
can go back.
knife.
Yeah. I mean, we're more used to seeing him actually as
Yes.
a full-back if we think about it. It's just this season we haven't.
Yep. He could play a striker if he wanted. He could play anywhere on the pitch. Gabe Escobar.
Double substitution as well coming up for the Whitecaps. Patrick Isa is one of the players coming on.
Tough day at the office for Fugo Sagawa. As Polisi comes on here in behind Habibullah, and it'll be always interested to see how Polisi McMillan are on the pitch together because they're very similar players. Both are attacking midfielders, but it always seems like either McMillan or Polisi will drop back into a DM role alongside Jones. So it looks like Zohar has gone to right back here. Escobar will stay wide left. It's making way for the Whitecaps here. Comcia.
Sydney Wathuto coming on now as well.
And Capilla coming off for the Whitecaps. So Wathuta and Izet are on. Expected more today out of Rohan Capilla. I liked his game last year as a more attacking-minded player. Whitecaps missing, obviously, Brennan First today and Chris Album. First spent some time with the Whitecaps FC2 team that play out of Swangard. They're at home tomorrow here at Swangard Stadium. Don't mind him there with his ball distribution abilities. Here's Smichenko finding Papakrikopoulos in that left channel. Now Tyler Dillon out wide for Zohar. Trying to find Habibullah, swept away quickly by Jovan Mann. But right back to the Rovers Zohar. Polisi out wide for McMillan in good position. He's got Mejia in space. Mejia back to the middle for Polisi. Maybe not the pass you want for a guy that's struggling with a groin injury to try and stretch out for that one, but we'll go back for Alexander here in the 60th.
I tell you though, the play that we're used to seeing from TSS is starting to click now in this second half, and you just saw the understanding that was there between McMillan and Mejia. McMillan knew exactly if he played that ball back that Mejia was going to be there. And it's getting closer and closer, it feels, to this breakthrough for the Rovers. With Polisi coming in now behind Habibullah, that is another big threat for this back three of the Whitecaps.
Just to say that the Whitecaps on the attack, eyes it out wide for Sydney Wathuta. Last week's hero against Unity. Wathuta will have a go. What a good idea, but again, execution not there for Wathuta. Sandu will play it towards half for Polisi. Tried to flick it on to his left for Escobar. Picked up now by G. Mineta. Izet gets past McMillan smoothly. Izet from distance looks like it was deflected. Yes, it was, as Jones down in some discomfort there. I think he got a boot from Izet onto his left leg.
I think it was just a follow through there from Patty Izet. No malice in that at all, but a sore one for Kyle Jones, who's trying to plead his case to the referee that he was kicked. Technically, he was.
He was, yes. Very good crowd on hand here, poised here for the next 30 minutes or so. Will we have a breakthrough? This game deserves it. The women's game finished 2-1 in favor of the Whitecaps women's team. Isa whip this one in towards the back post. Drops down, Dillon is there. And he ushers it out for a very deep throw in for the Whitecaps in that far side. Throwing here for Jaden Mineta. Tourney from last year, Mineta, one of 12 for Rich Fagan's team. Played away by Jones. Now with Thuda. Clip towards the middle. Up there was Senu. Didn't get it fully. Away by Jones. Rovers would hate to concede here. Habibullah out wide for Zohar.
I mean, it has been mostly TSS in this half. It would be a tough one for them to fall behind, but that is the quality that the Whitecaps have, as Zohar nearly poked it past. They were having a lot of success on Sunday with balls like that, just knocking it past the defender and then getting round the defender as they hit the byline. Not on that occasion there. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us during the game, you can leave a message in the YouTube chat or on Twitter at AFTN Canada. BC Soccer News says close game so far. Mohammed Afkir, for any bettors out there, feels that you'd be betting under the 2.5 goals. I think that is a good bet to take at this point of the game.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're not getting the 8 that we had last year in this fixture.
Or if we are, we're going to be worn out in the next half hour. I would be prepared to be exhausted if we can call 8 goals in the next half hour here.
Stranger things have happened.
Lots of questions about donuts as well, but we won't get into that again. John O'Flynn is watching from West Vancouver. Always happy to see and hear us. We're always happy to hear from John as well.
Mahé looking to whip it in for Habibullah. Out wide for Polisi. Foul there. And that's a tough place to give away a free kick if you're the Whitecaps there.
It is. I will say, though, one of Matteo Polisi's best skills is winning free kicks like that from positions like that.
Usually he's the one to send over. It will be Kyle Jones on that angle. He's got the sweet left foot.
Matteo is good at just suddenly stopping and being bundled over and then going down nicely.
Two-man Whitecaps wall here.
Yeah, Rovers won't care how they won this free kick, but this is a great position for Kyle Jones to either get it on target or for someone to pick up a rebound.
Alexander cheating to the right. It comes back.
Looking at the door here. Do they have the answer?
Polisi right-footed ball towards the 6. Up there is Habibullah. Alexander pleading for a foul. Habibullah got the worst of that one. And whipped back in by Jones. Up there is Pacheco. Just wide out of the reach of Zohar as it was at the back stick.
Alexander better watch because he's right in the referee's face here and he's pointing at the referee. I mean, that to me is a yellow card. But the referee letting that one go. I feel he had a case because I do feel Habibullah completely bashed into him there. But Alexander was so busy complaining that he wasn't set then for the cross that came in. So that could really have cost his side there.
I didn't think today we'd have more cards than goals. So don't don't go away just yet. We've still got 25 to play.
Well, we know how explosive TSS are. And when they get one, they usually have a few more in quick succession.
Here's Jones. Patient. Rovers build up. Escobar to his left for Papakriakopoulos. Little step over overlapping run from McMillan. Support comes from Polisi though. Polisi trying to work to the outside into the box. Polisi back across. And cleared by Jovan Mann towards half. Right to the boot of Papakriakopoulos. There's Jones. Jones got by a couple of Whitecaps. Feeds it through Habibullah. Mahé to his right. Will now find him as Mahé to check his run. Overlapping run again from Zohar. Mahé 1-on-4. Dangerous tackle there. Mahé is still going. Back to the outside for Papakriakopoulos. Oh, what a beauty! Breakthrough for the Rovers. It's a Papa K special. And on 66 minutes, the Rovers ahead with a banger from Nico Papakriakopoulos.
What a fantastic strike by Nico. We know what he's got in his locker, but I've never seen that from him before in all the years that I've watched him play through the Whitecaps, through SFU and VMSL with BB5. Where has he been hiding that strike?
That was Gabe Escobar.
Whoa. And you saw what it meant to him. You saw what it meant to the bench. I'm looking down for see if I can see his dad Costa. I saw him at half time.
He seems to move around a lot. So
yes, I'm sure he's bouncing about at the moment after that. Just looking over at Clint Schneider, Nico's college coach, who's got a big smile on his face. He's probably wondering why he hasn't seen that up the mountain either, as the smoke comes out and it's lingering.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to be Ben Alexander going back into that right now.
What a beauty, a scorcher.
Oh,
from
I
Papa
cannot wait to
Krikopoulos.
see that back when I get home. That could be rivaling Kyle Jones now for my goal of the season.
You've changed your tune quite quickly there.
I do that very often.
That is picture perfect.
As is the smoke coming across
Yep.
the pitch just now. I feel like we've gone back to the 90s show Lost.
As Alexander emerges from the
Yes.
shadows.
The smoke monster has arisen.
Yeah. Here's Isaac in space. Back across, away by Papa Krikopoulos. Here's Jones. And now Polisi. Rovers have numbers. Mejia to the right. The smoke covering the
There
net.
could be a goalkeeper somewhere in there.
Yeah, there he is. Here's Mejia out wide. Whips it into the middle. And the referee's going to blow play dead here. Fans hate it.
The boos ringing around Swangard. Fantastic stuff. Hopefully our photographer Tom's got some good shots of that.
I mean, if we can't see the players, I don't think the players can see the ball. But
TSS bench complaining to the fourth official as well. I mean, the referee is in every right to stop the game there. Like, all jokes aside, you can't have the game going on when the defence and the keeper can't see the ball getting crossed in. I mean, there should not really be any complaints from TSS there. Some of them that I was mentioning when we said, oh, there's going to be some more goals coming, and I mentioned the fact that when TSS score, they'd kind of like to score in bursts. So I looked back at what they've done this season. 6 times over the season, they've got 2 goals within a 10-minute period, and on a few of those occasions within a 5-minute period. As the referee showing a card to the smoke. It's been a few minutes since he showed one, so I'm sure he's...
he's probably itching. He's probably got his hand in his
Yeah.
pocket just waiting to show the card as Mejia finds Polisi right off the reset. 69th minute. Polisi, Mejia to make it 2 for TSS. Pull the cross goal. And stepping in there as Mejia went into the Swangardian barriers there. And it will be a goal kick for Ben Alexander in the 70th.
I think it's important for the Whitecaps now. They need to just stand firm for the next 5 minutes or so. Because from watching this Rover side, they're going to just lay siege on this Whitecaps goal. And again, a giveaway. That is something the Whitecaps can't afford to do. Just turning it over in their own half and allowing the Rovers to keep the pressure on here.
Sandu will play it away. Thrown coming up for the Whitecaps through Sidney Wathuta. I'm sure he'd love to make his name in this game here. He had the winner last week against Unity, the 88th minute. But has been quiet since subbing on about 10 minutes ago as the Whitecaps prep a sub. It will be Yayu Mutombo. Pacey striker. Here's Wathuta. For Florent. Good ball through for Isaac. As the smoke makes its way to the Rovers half here. Bit of a doomy glow here with the feels like Halloween with the smoke hanging around.
It kind of does, doesn't it? I think it's just the perfect weather conditions for it not to rise.
Yep.
Seen this a few times over the years when the Whitecaps were here back in their USL days with the Southsiders.
Well, I was watching back a Rovers game from 2018, and it was against Portland. It was 2-1, and Polisi scored, and the smoke came, and Polisi scored again when the smoke was there.
Mejia dances past a tackle there from White.
Back towards Habibullah, looking for more. McMillan!
Oh, and that's
Handball,
got
not
to be
given.
a penalty. No, says the referee.
Zohar. Rovers can't believe it. Neither can the bench. Habibullah to make it more for TSS on the half turn. Habibullah deflected corner kick TSS. This is
the
wonderful from home
Rovers
side.
bench are up in literal arms.
Tom Johnston can't believe it.
He's going to have to watch because he's right up, as is Dan Rusher, with the fourth official right now. I mean, we spoke in the women's game that there was a harsh foul, I felt, on the Whitecaps because the ball was hit straight at the player, but it was given. That's exactly the same there.
Punched away by Alexander, not fully dealt with as the Rovers crowd the keeper there. Out the other way come the Whitecaps.
Can certainly say this game has livened up in the last 5-6 minutes or so. Great stuff now.
Here's Isaac. Over to the right side for Wathuda.
Going to be a double substitution for the Whitecaps when they decide to make it. Nikos Clark-Tozak is also going to be coming on.
Florent, who's dropped back here for man. Now Demian. Lost
Another
it, Zohar,
giveaway by the
Mejia,
Whitecaps.
Polisi, who just would have been a 2-on-1 there with Habibullah. Collected by Florent. Just past Demian, who might to win the foot race. Dylan lets it go.
Now we will get this double substitution. Interesting to see who Fisher brings off here. Looks like it is Damien.
Joel Demian's race is run today. I think that's Jovan Mann coming off as well. Makes sense with the yellow card. Yes, it is.
Joel Demian, one of the Whitecaps players that will be leaving at the end of this League 1 season. Committed to the Indiana Hoosiers for the upcoming NCAA university season.
Now that's a name I know.
One of two Demian brothers that's come through the Whitecaps Academy. His brother Nathan as well. I remember watching many years ago.
Polisi, Habibullah off to the races. Alexander off his
3v2.
line. Finds Mejia and speed for the Rovers with space as well. Mejia, crossover back across!
Oh, the flag
Flag's
is up, which I think sums up the luck that Masood Habibullah has had this evening. I looked immediately over at the linesman there because they did look offside.
Same goal he scored against Unity a few weeks ago in his last match before the Sunday game against Altitude due to injury, and scored a brace that day. Got one against Altitude as well on the 11th against North Van side.
Great work there, though, by Mejia to set that up. But that was a 3-on-2 break as well by the Caps. Whitecaps are leaving themselves really short of the back. I mean, they're already playing with a back three, and they're getting caught out here by the pace.
Perfect ball from Dylan for Zohar. 15 to play. Whitecaps trail by 1. 66-minute banger despite a game on Saturday looming.
Nick Barrett coming on, though, which is going to really solidify that back line. Ali Zohar's night is done.
Good shift from the SFU Red Leaf.
Question we have in from the chat. We've got a lot that's coming in now, but the game's been so fast-paced, can't get to a lot of these. John O'Flynn wants to know who we feel is the most important to get the 3 points tonight. Now, the Whitecaps clearly need it to keep in the top 4 playoff picture, but for TSS, every point is a prisoner right now. It's in their own hands to finish top of the League 1 standings. For anyone maybe watching this that isn't familiar with League 1 BC, the top 4 teams will go into the postseason playoffs, 2 semi-finals, 1v4, 2v3. But whoever finishes first of the regular season standings after the 14-game season will claim the BC spot for next year's Canadian Championship. Rovers obviously had a taste of that this year, and they are hungry for more. And if they can see out the season, they're going to have that. It's in their own hands now to finish first, and a win tonight will secure that top spot for them. And I know that is a spot they are not going to want to give up over the rest of the year. And here go the Rovers again. Lovely ball out here to Mejia.
Mejia trying to make his way forward again. Mejia flicks it towards goal. Just wide to the right of Alexander. And I thought it was deflected. But
from our angle, it looked like it had deflected into the top corner, but it turned out to be neither a deflection nor anywhere near the top corner.
Ball played forward, flicked on. Might find Hennessy. Barrett, the cool head at the back, steps in. Smichenko will thump it towards half. And that'll just bounce for Whitecaps player on the far side. Sydney Wathuda finds Nick White. 3-time Team of the Week for League1 BC this year, Nick White. the Harvard University player who was a Rover last year, as mentioned. He's had a game and a half here for the Whitecaps, keeping this potent Rovers attack at bay for the most part. Can't really fault any Whitecaps player for that one goal in this game.
No.
25-yard volley from
As I'm sure you can imagine, so many comments in the YouTube chat about what a goal that was, and like, oh my God, and I can't speak Spanish, but some comments in Spanish that seem to have the word goal in it, so I'm pretty sure it's what a great goal that was.
Golazo.
Also, Kevin O'Brien says, what a smoker. That's the most aggressive smoke bomb I've ever seen. Is it military grade? Very possibly. They were doing a fundraiser to get some more smoke.
Can't confirm or deny our sources.
Yeah, can't confirm or deny where they get it from either, so...
Need to have more night games so it can cause a distraction like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more special than a game under floodlights. It's how I was brought up watching the game, and it's just something magical about it.
Habibullah out wide to the left in space, and the ball over the top for Mejia. Will bounce to him, but not directly from Kyle Jones. Mejia now one-on-one here. Finds Polisi. Now Mejia. McMillan enters the fray, trying to find Polisi, who fouls Florent.
Whitecaps have done well to withstand that pressure from TSS there. Now they need to regroup and get some attack going off their own. It's been a tough one for them. They're going to make another substitution here, and a player I've been really looking forward to seeing coming on, David Yagby. TSS look like they're going to make a double substitution as well, and we are going to see Kean Proctor, fresh off his 2 goals at the weekend against Altitude. Grant Verhoeven coming on as well. He'll be bolstering the midfield. I have to think Masood's probably going to make way for Proctor here.
Dillon heads it forward, bounces down in front of Mineta, and now White finds Clark Tozak this up. Luke Norman, who's ran a lot today for the Whitecaps, trying to get his team back in this one. Jagbe there back for Norman. Make that to Wathuda out wide, trying to whip it back into the middle, away by Barrett. And that one will go for a corner for the looks of it.
Matt Blakely in the chat says Whitecaps are 10 times the bet.
And had to win that ball cleanly, did Polisi, because would have been a penalty otherwise, but
he
his
carries
tough
it out
position.
though.
Corner kick in the 81st here. Can the Whitecaps draw back to even terms? Be another ball to the middle. Up there, knocked down for Hennessy, and a foul on Smichenko. For a Whitecaps player on it, Smichenko make that is Verhoeven and Proctor ready and waiting in front of us.
Those of you that's been with our broadcasts all season long will know the praises I've been singing off Kean Proctor. I've been waiting for him to have the breakout game, and it just felt that he just wasn't getting the breaks because he wasn't getting many minutes on the field. But those 10 minutes plus that he got on Sunday when he got the 2 goals, that could be such a difference maker for Kean Proctor. Going to be going to college this fall. We'll be seeing him play in Canada West with the UFV Cascades. Sure, Tom Lowndes will be keeping a very close eye on him in all these matches.
Reminds me a lot of Gurman Jaj, the former Rover, a big frame, could put the ball in the net.
Oh, he's a big, big lad. I mean, when I first saw him at TSS training, I was like, wow, who's this guy? And Colin was telling me about him, and he's still grade 12. It's like, what?
I thought he was a centre back, the way he his build there, a tall player. But fits the mold of the striker for TSS as he takes over for Habibullah. Nice move by Polisi. McMillan checks out as well for TSS. Here's Proctor back for Mejia. He'd love to get one here, wouldn't he? Into the box, drops down out of the reach there. It might fall to Jones. Can we have another opportunity for a shot?
You saw him just eyeing that up there.
Here's Papakrikopoulos out wide left for Escobar. Goal scorer now on the ball. First of the year First is a rover for Nico. Jones, patient ball through for Papakrikopoulos. Will try and hold it in. He will. I thought he won a corner, but he didn't.
Yeah, I think he thought he'd win a corner as well, but he didn't.
Goal kick for Alexander in the 83rd. Here's Nick White. Spread out to the near side by Florent. Florent now to track back on Polisi. Clark Tozak will come under some pressure from Polisi. Alexander very out of his net here. Proctor was closing him down. Now Dillon flicks it forward for Mejia. Right to the boot, though. The Whitecaps player that was man. Make that Mineta.
High press here from TSS has really kept the Whitecaps penned into their own half. And
Mejia, Jones, Polisi. Proctor making the run. Polisi was fouled there by Jaden Mineta. And a free kick in a good position as Polisi got the worst of that one. In some discomfort here. Good chance here for Polisi to whip one in towards the back post. Smachenko was climbing above there. In a 1-0 game, your center back's in the opposing 18-yard box. A little bit worrying as a coach as it might find Proctor. Away by Mineta. Now Polisi outside the 18. Trying to find Mejia. Whitecaps pushing the ball forward here. Up there is Dillon.
One man up, though, against three. It's not what the Whitecaps need, but they've won that loose ball, and now they've got a chance to eyes it.
Eyes it now. Florent. Ajabi now working. Rovers fans, bench players wanted a handball. And it did allow the Whitecaps to have a good counterattack there as well. So justifiably up in arms are the coaching staff and players and fans alike.
David Ajabi that came on, 17-year-old that can play as a forward, play as an attacking midfielder. He's from Surrey originally. He played last year briefly, but he was with Simcoe County Rovers in League 1 Ontario. Only did play one game in 9 minutes, but he was involved with that League 1 setup. So interesting to see him now here with the Whitecaps. 17-year-old still.
Smachenko up to the near side for Proctor.
Into the last 5 minutes here at Swangard. TSS happy to give up some possession just now. Whitecaps haven't really had any looks on goal in this half.
And a half volley strike from Mutombo. And good connection on that one, and a ball over the top. That's nice skill by Yayu Mutombo, returnee from last year. Which is 9th game played of the season. Mutombo goalless so far.
19 years old now, Yaya Mutombo. Been with the Whitecaps. First played with them at under 13 level. He's one of these guys that's really come through the academy.
Mutombo on the turn. Nice move past Polisi. Jones tracking him down. Forward by Smachenko. Escobar.
These subs of the Whitecaps certainly have livened their attack up.
Much more dynamic out wide with Thuda Ajabi on the pitch. Same with Isaac.
They're using the wings better as well.
Nice confident running by Wathuda. Clark Tozak mishit it. Falls to Proctor. Mejia wants it wide right. He'll get it. Great ball from Proctor. Mejia one-on-one here, trying to make his way to the outside for Mateo Polisi. Polisi angled it in favor of him there. Thought Mejia, with the confidence he has, will just take it head down.
Yeah, I was surprised he laid it off to Polisi there, I've got to say, and it just wasn't ever falling right for Mateo there. So that one smacks off the head of Kyle Jones. He might be feeling that one tomorrow.
Won't feel anything if this game finishes 1-0 Rovers. Here's Polisi for Proctor.
Play there from Polisi.
Proctor back for Polisi.
Just couldn't get that one out from under his feet. Again, you would maybe think Proctor would have been better to take that one on himself.
Out wide to the right side here from Mineta. Now Velios. Haven't heard his name much in the second half, but he's been a mainstay for the Whitecaps last year and this year as well. The Ohio State Buckeye overager. Here's Benedict Florent, but the man of the match, in my opinion, for the Whitecaps tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely, him and Nick White, for me, he's been the two standout Whitecaps players.
Verhoeven lost it to Jabi. He'll have a volley. Bounces in front of Dylan in a foot race with Mutombo. Shoves Dylan over, and Dylan's going to take his time here, I'm sure, getting up for the free kick.
I feel Dylan did make slightly the most of that, but he is down in a bit of pain, but he's off the pitch, so it's not exactly going to waste time. So if he isn't hurt, he needs to get back up, but it does seem to be a little bit of cramp here.
Josh Hooven coming over to check in on the injured Rover temporarily, but he's going to be A-okay by the looks of it. Rover's going to make another sub here.
Usually at this time of the game we give our AFTN players of the match. We've touched on the Whitecaps once. Florent and White for me, the two standouts for the Whitecaps. I mean, for TSS, there's not been what you would necessarily say huge standout performances. Justin Sandhu's had a couple of saves that were big and had to get made. Ivan Mejia's danced his way along as he has. I mean, it's lazy to give it to the goal scorer, but what a strike.
Yep, and he's coming off now. Great shift from Papakrikopoulos. In comes John Joseph, his first appearance since the first game of the season against Nansemond.
Good to see him after the injury he had. We're moving into 5 minutes of time getting added on here, so still a bit of time here for the Whitecaps to get something going.
Not over yet. Don't turn it off just yet. Away firmly by Barrett. Big German.
Been checking the updates as well on the Colorado Whitecaps MLS game 15 minutes ago. They're still hoping to follow the weather. I never thought I'd be getting home and possibly still watching the Whitecaps game live, but here we go. Doesn't look like that is going to be happening from the latest message that we've just had.
Might break some bylaws if they tend to want to kick off at 11:15.
Got home from lunch on Tuesday to find the Scotland game was still on.
That one bounces down. Oh, grab by Sandhu. Whitecaps bench was ready.
Having to be very good there. I mean, we're into the last 5 minutes here. There's still a lot of football to get played.
Sandhu hit Clark Tozak. And now here's Joseph. He'd love to have a return lineup with a goal here.
TSS less than 5 minutes away now from recording their 5th clean sheet over 9 games. Just 4 goals given up in the season so far. That's the task facing the Whitecaps, to break down this defence so far for him on the year. Good to see him back. I know they've got quite high hopes from the 18-year-old. Been with the Whitecaps since 2019. Another player, actually, that's committed.
Chance from distance. Sandhu there, punches it away, but it's going to find the net. From a long ways out, the Whitecaps have tied it. Goodness me, what a strike from just inside the Rovers' half. And out of nothing, this game is tied in the 90th minute. Incredible.
You see as well what that means to the Whitecaps players. Those not dressed tonight have run on the track to join them on the bench. Wow, we have been fed 2 absolutely magnificent goals tonight. Gonna watch this one back right away on the stream.
Here's Dylan. Rovers trying to get back in the game here. Still don't know who scored the goal. It was hard to see the number from over here after the mauling he got by his teammates. All hands on deck now.
Try and find that out by watching this back, but yeah, his back was turned and then just got jumped upon.
Mutombo. Wide left. Formanetta just going to roll by him. What an idea to take that to shot on. We've seen a lot more of those goals from long distance the past couple of weeks in Major League Soccer, but
I mean, you love to see it.
Yeah,
it's great anticipation by the forwards, and it's
great
goalkeepers
power.
Just need to be more alert.
Here's Polisi. That's what happens when you haven't faced as many shots maybe as you would like in a 1-0 game. Is clipped through from Verhoeven for Polisi. Wanted a foul. Going to be hard-pressed to get one now. As Escobar will get a quick throw for Verhoeven. Now Gabe Escobar. Verhoeven running through into the Rovers box, or Whitecaps box, fell. And a foul and a card coming up here on Escobar. 5th card of the game for those keeping track at home. So Escobar goes into the book.
I think it's Patrick Isaac that's got the goal. He's the one that's been mobbed in the middle of the scrum there.
What a goal that would be against your former team. If it is indeed Patrick Isaac. It's a Rovers player slowly trying to make that Whitecaps player slowly trying to get to his feet here.
I mean, you have to say that was certainly against the run of play, and
Deserved, though, I think, for the Whitecaps.
Rovers, I
Undone.
think, ruin the missed opportunities they've had so many times to add to their lead, to go ahead before they did. Ben Brink says he doesn't believe it. It reminds him of that Nick Firmino goal. Daniel Walsh says, this is the best day of my life. BC Soccer News reminds me of that Zilla Ryan one from a few weeks back in MLS.
Or Pablo Ruiz this past week for Real Salt Lake. Off the foot of Mejia.
Jeevan Ryan says, they were playing until almost 2 a.m. for the Gold Cup qualifiers in CONCACAF last night due to the weather. He'll be okay with the same for the Whitecaps.
Verhoeven towards Proctor, away by White. Throw-in coming up here for the Rovers as they try to press on the left side, and a disappointing end to the home season, I'm sure, if this one finishes 1-1.
Well, it could be 2 huge points dropped for TSS as well, because we were speaking about the fact that they need to get as many points as they can, and like it's in their own hands just now. Still is in their own hands, but things have just got a little bit more difficult for them with 5 away games coming up. But let's not get even too far ahead of ourselves here, because the Whitecaps still pushing as the cards still keep coming out, and they've got another chance here. Can the Whitecaps snatch the dramatic late winner? And I can confirm it was Patrick Isaac. Picked up the loose ball and just blasted it in from about 5 yards inside the TSS half.
Late free kick from the Whitecaps. Can they get the late winner here? Isaac will lift it in beautifully towards the back stick. Up there is Mineta. It's still there for Nick White, and away by Verhoeven towards Mejia. Can the Rovers counterattack? The Rovers half gives his team the equalizer here, and full points. Points shared, I should say, here tonight against this Rovers team to end their home schedule.
First goal of the season for Patrick Isaac, and what a goal it was. First goal of the season as well for Nico Papakyriakopoulos, and that was equally a good goal. 2 goals of the season contenders for TSS. 2 points dropped at home. It is not what they were looking for. Extends their unbeaten run to 4 though. They are next up playing Unity this weekend at Unity. Then they've got Unity, Rivers, Nosimo, Harbourside and Highlanders to round off their season. For the Whitecaps, they are now unbeaten in 3, 2 draws in there. They will be away to Altitude on Sunday. I'll have the call for that one. Followed by an away trip to Nosimo, then home to Harbourside, and they finish away to Unity, away to Rivers. A lot of football still to get played in League 1 BC. It's exciting in both the men's and women's divisions. Make sure you get all the action all season long on the YouTube channel here at League 1 BC. Check out AFTN.ca as well. Also the AFTN Soccer Show. We'll have some interviews coming up. I spoke to Katie Collar earlier after the Whitecaps win today. Just keep watching it and keep supporting local soccer.
Thank you for everyone who joined us for the 6 home games on YouTube and as well the feature match. Make sure to support the Rovers in those 5 games and as well the league in its entirety as well. Final score tonight, Whitecaps 1, Rovers 1 goals in the midway through the first half from the Rovers. Midway the second half, Nico Papakyriakopoulos, and the equalizer in the 90th, Patrick Isaac, a banger from distance. Thanks to all for tuning in. For Michael McCollum, Gideon Hill, signing off from Swangard, your final 1-1 between the Rovers and the Whitecaps. So long.